Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. Look, they're painting a mural there on the Prudential building. And I didn't even notice this was going on. This is near the building where I work, and someone was like, hey, if you look out the conference room there, you can see they're painting a mural there. And so we'll keep you. Hey, Chris, how you doing here? See here, this is Chicago's New East Side. This is, there's the Prudential, the annex, the one that built in '88. This is the original Prudential building. See, there's Michigan Avenue, Millennium Park's right down there. And they're just starting a mural there. And we'll revisit this when we go back. We'll start and probably end our live here. And then later, you know, maybe if I come down here on Saturday, we'll give more progress there. And Rob on the road, how you doing there? Yeah, Krista, Julie, Chris, how's everybody doing there? Yeah, Julie, Krista. Look at that mural there. So yeah, they're painting a mural on the side of the Prudential building. We'll revisit this, but I just want to start that. And then, so hey, let's head over. We'll head across Michigan Avenue. We'll head over to Daily Plaza here. They got, I think they got the farmers market starting today, and I didn't get to it this morning because I did a nice slow walk there. I just posted the rerun on TikTok. We met our friend Melissa there from Florida. Said hello in the Gold Coast there. She was, appreciate that. And then we saw the last of the tulips there. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff happening this weekend. We were talking about it. See that mural's going on there. We'll head across Michigan Avenue, and then we'll head into Millennium Park. I'll go over to Grant Park because Sueños is happening Memorial Day weekend. And Dolores, how you doing there? Naya, yeah, Dolores, Julie, Lambie T. Thanks everybody there. If I missed anybody there, we'll get you eventually here. Every time I scroll up there, I lose some of my comments here. So there's the train moving around there. We'll head over to Daily Plaza a little bit in the loop, and then we'll head back to Millennium Park. We'll end up over there. So yeah, I hope you're having a good what is today? Thursday? Man, the week's flying by. Is it already March 22nd? Can't believe it. Yeah, no, May. I said March. May 22nd. May 22nd. You know, that's what happened. You know, I don't realize I'll be like distracted by a horn or looking at what I'm filming, and I'll say March instead of May. I do that all the time. I didn't realize I did it so much until I started live streaming. But hey, look, there's the green line round the bend there. Yeah, Rob on the road, Michael. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, we'll show it again at the end there, Michael. They're starting a new mural there on the Prudential building, and it's right near where I work here, so we'll be able to keep everybody up to date on the progress. I really like murals, especially on big blank walls, and you can do really large vertical ones there, and that's a good idea. They got a big blank wall there. You can see it from the Giordano's. Here, Mammoth Poke Ramen. We went by this the other day. We'll head over to Daily Plaza. Yeah, Jack's tuning in there. Yeah, Dolores. It's good. So what are we missing here? I'm missing some comments. I always miss comments. It's I'm trying not to walk into the pole here. One day I'm just gonna fall down a manhole or something. Hey, Elephant Castle. Yeah, we'll head down Wabash a little bit. Wabash is nice white sidewalks. There's Stephanie. How you doing there? Valerie. Yeah, Rob on the road. Stephanie, yeah. So, yeah, what do we got here? Capriati's, the halal guys. Taco Smell. There's the Drunk Shakespeare. There's the Drunk Shakespeare at the Lion Theater there. Hey, we should check that out. I didn't know about the Drunk Shakespeare. That's interesting. But here, Benton Place in Wabash. Benton is this little alley. Yeah, let's walk down here, because then if we walk down this alley, we'll pop out at the Chicago Theater. And so here we're underneath, my camera's crooked. Here we're underneath Wabash here. That's looking north towards the lake. So here's the Trump Tower. And that's the Jewelers Building. Here's the halal guys. Chicken gyro falafel. So we'll leave Wabash. Look at that amazing density of the loop. And here we'll head down this alley. This is the side of the Chicago Theater. This is the backstage and loading areas of the Chicago Theater. And look at that ghost sign, Chicago Theater ghost sign. You see that? Yeah, Taco, how you doing there? Yeah. Taco jalapeno salsa. Yeah, TJS. We got TJS on the brain there. Here, how you doing? So we will head through here. People doing exercise. Yeah, see the Chicago Theater entrance. You see that ghost sign? That's on the side of the Chicago Theater. And there's the train going by. That amazing density of the loop here. Look at that with the Aeon. Look at these scenes of the city there. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, the back alleys. I'm showing you the back alleys of the loop of Chicago. Look at that ghost sign. See, there's cars going through. I'm standing in the middle of the, I'm blocking the car access here. Here's a mural here. There's a mural there. I like that mural. Hosing down the sidewalk. So Nikki Glazier, Alive Unwell Tour, 2 shows, 7 to 10 p.m. Nikki Glazier's going to be at the Chicago Theater here. We're going to pop out on State Street. We'll show you the Chicago Theater here. And we might cross the street here if we... Yeah. Oops. So here, they're working on the tires there. The car just pulled in there to park. Here's a nice close-up view of the Chicago Theater. Look at that. So we'll head across here. Marquee. Outback and Jam presents Nikki Glazier. There she is. Look at that. And there. You like Nikki? Yeah, that's great. So look at that. There's the plug walk. Let's head over to Daily Plaza here. Hey, we got the whole band back together here. And there's the Gene Siskel Film Center. Alice Adventures in Wonderland, June 5th through 22nd, Joffrey Ballet. Joffrey Ballet. And explore the loop here. There it is. Alice in Wonderland there, the ballet form of Alice in Wonderland. That'll be great, the Joffrey Ballet. You can see them practicing there sometimes on the 3rd and 4th floor. We'll head across. There's the Muddy Waters mural, State Street, Macy's. There's the Marshall Fields clock. And we'll cross here at Randolph Street. Mr. Bones on tour, Critter Bones. No, that's Critter Bones. How you doing there, Critter Bones? Carl Talks, Sweden. Hey, there you go. I like the flag there. Thanks for tuning in from Sweden here. We'll cross here. Carl Talks, yeah. Yeah, cheers. We're mourning the loss of our fellow Chicagoan there. Oops, I got it. But George... Norm from Cheers there, yeah. George Wendt, W-E-N-D-T, George Wendt. Yeah, he was Norm from Cheers there and passed away earlier this week. We talked about it. There's the Blick. Here's the Nederlander Theater. There's the Marquee. And that's a beautiful theater. You see how they have commercial space in front of the theater. The theater's in the back. And Broadway in Chicago here. And that Blick thing, that cuckoo clock looking thing, used to be a German beer garden from the Century of Progress World's Fair. They moved it here. Titanic there. Yeah, Norm. Sky Bar. Yeah, Virgin Hotel. Yeah, we passed the Virgin Hotel. Yeah, check out the Sky Bar. Is that on the roof there? Yeah, maybe we need to get up there sometime. We're heading by the Dearborn here. People are having lunch at the Dearborn. There you can see the construction on the Thompson Center there, the new Google. And here's the Goodman Theater. Look at all these theaters we have here. We got the Goodman Theater right there. And we got the Nederlander Theater right there. We just saw the Chicago Theater. And over there's the Cadillac Palace. But look, we see tents there. We got 7 seconds to cross the street. We'll cross Dearborn here. We're at Dearborn and Randolph, loop of Chicago. and we'll check out this farmer's market. So here we got the light. Let's go. See the people in the bike lane there waiting for the light. There's the pink line heading across there. Yeah, look at that. Here we'll head around here. Christopher, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Christopher, the weather looks the weather looks a little better for this weekend. It's going to be like 60 degrees and mostly sunny. Well, I think there's some clouds. This guy's yelling at me. He's yelling at me from behind. I guess that's his prerogative to yell at me when I'm streaming. I was trying to get away from him. He just kept yelling. But I'm sure he doesn't think very highly of me. But here, let's check out the Daily Plaza here. Yeah, we got farmers market, we got DJs, we got music, Daily Plaza. This goes on every Thursday from throughout the summer all the way to the fall. And we'll see some of the same vendors that we see in the Lincoln Park market, but there's other vendors that are here that are not in the Lincoln Park market. Look, we got cucumbers, we got tomatoes. You get the tomato plants, you get a whole tomato plant, 4 for $30. This is a Daily Plaza here, the farmers market. They got peppers, hanging tomato plants, get some peonies. Nichols Farm and Orchard here. Look at the tomatoes, turnips. Yeah, I'll just give everybody an overview of what's here. It's great for your garden. If you're planting a garden here, you could just stop by. It's like going to the greenhouse here. You can get all your little herbs and spices, and $6, 4 for $20. Yeah, see the DJ there? Microwave, get some popcorn. Get some popcorn. Look at that. Look at the multicolored popcorn right off the cob. They got onions, Phoenix bean. Look at that. They got all these plants. You get hanging baskets, geraniums. Opening day. Let's see what she's saying here. Yeah, the opening day of the farmers market. 47 seasons.
The longest running farmers market in the city of Chicago. And we love keeping this tradition going every year. I just want to say this market wouldn't be possible without all of our amazing vendors. So vendors out there, give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah.
For your participation year after year, dedication, and all of your hard work. Now I'd like to introduce someone who plays an integral part in the local farmers market scene, demonstrated through how passionate he is about enhancing food access and supporting local agriculture throughout Illinois. Please welcome the Deputy Director of Operations for Experimental Station, Corey Chapman.
Yeah, Corey Chapman. There we go. There he is. Yeah. Welcome to Chicago, Green City Market here, opening day. Daily Plaza.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here and for your continued support of local farmers markets, community food access. My name is Corey Chapman, and I'm proud to represent the Experimental Station, an organization deeply rooted in the farmers market community and committed to creating greater equity in how fresh, local food is accessed and enjoyed by everyone. At Experimental Station, we believe everyone deserves access to healthy, locally grown food. That belief has guided our work since the founding of the 61st Street Farmers Market back in 2008. At that time, we were one of the first markets in the city of Chicago to accept SNAP benefits. And we became the first in the entire state of Illinois to introduce a dollar-for-dollar healthy food incentive program for SNAP users. It's now known as Link Match. Since those early days, our market has grown from just 5 vendors to well over 30 vendors that come by every week. Today, we operate year-round and continue to be a model of what a community-centered, accessible farmers market can look like. But our work didn't stop at our 61st Street Farmers Market. In 2010, we expanded our mission and began helping other markets across the state open the doors to SNAP users. We've worked side by side with farmers markets to help them to apply for SNAP and secure machines in order to do SNAP transactions. and also implement best practices on how to accept SNAP. This work is very hands-on and detailed work, but it's also very transparent. It makes sure that more people, more communities can shop at farmers markets and bring home healthy, fresh food.
Yeah.
It was during this time that we also launched our Lurie program.
Isn't that great? Yeah, so you getting healthy food to people that need it, because we have food deserts throughout the city. So the farmers markets help fill the hole left by Walmart and others. And I know it's more expensive, but it's probably better quality food. And isn't this great here? I would stick around and listen to his whole speech there, but I don't want to lose the audience here, so we'll keep moving here. And you can check this out. This is the Green City Market here. We got some places to go here. I'm trying to cover and go to some more places here. So here, the freshest mushrooms and more here. This is the Daily Plaza Farmers Market. You see how it goes all the way around the fountain here. So we'll walk around the whole thing. I'll give you an overview of what's here, and then we'll head to we'll head around the farmers market, and then we'll head to Millennium Park there. And yeah, they're moving fast. Yeah, spend more and get fresh produce. You can actually talk to the people that produced it. And see, there's 3D printed chocolates. How you doing here? Thanks for being here. This is great here. From Chocolate with Love. I like this. Yeah, 3D printed. How you doing here? Thanks for saying. Thanks for being here. That's good. Melting molds. Yeah, you're at Daily Plaza here. Look, you get the link. That's what he was talking about. Premium gourmet meat pies here. There's a line. That's great. Here we got compost. That's great. Look at all this. Pickles. All kinds of pickles. We got radish. Thanks. This is great. And yeah, Daily Plaza. I've been waiting for this to open here. It opens in the morning. I think it opens just like the Green City Market. It opens 7 a.m. usually. I've gone through here in the morning. Let's see, we got asparagus, we got rhubarb, apples. See, Chris can get an apple for the horse there. Daly's Donuts here. Look at the donuts. How you doing? This is great. Yeah, nice to see you. Glad you're back. Yeah, I'm glad you're back. How you doing here? Hey, Danny's. How you doing here? Juice. You got juice blends.
Yeah, it's really juicy.
I like it. I like the branding. That is great. That's great. Thanks for being here. That's awesome. See, Daily Plaza, come out here. They got Artesian Bread Company. Look at this wonderful bread, pretzel buns. Look, here come the Daily Plaza. Bring your dog, get your asparagus. Isn't this great? And the opening, you know, they're doing the speeches there. You get honey, jam. What do we got here? Yeah, look at all this bread and baked goods. It's great. We got all these flowers, marigolds, and hanging baskets. We got portalettes. Thanks for checking this out here. We got a helicopter. I hear a helicopter. I can't see it. There. Hearts and Flowers Bakery here. Wow, you got the caramel crunch. Look at that. Yeah, thank you. That's great. There. They got a new roller coaster. So here, we'll cross the street here, Daily Plaza. Thanks for checking out the farmers market. We'll be back. This will be going on every Thursday, the whole summer and fall. It lasts pretty deep until the fall. And on Fridays, they have food trucks. They already started the food trucks last Friday, but of course, we were up at the White Sox playing the Cubs there at Wrigley Field last Friday, so we didn't get it, but we might get it. If we don't get it tomorrow, we'll get the food truck thing. We got the whole summer to do that. Henry, how you doing there? Julie, Dolores, I probably missed some comments there. Trudy, how you doing there? Thanks, everybody. So, hey, thanks, everybody, for checking out. Look, we got 233 people. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we got an ambulance coming by here. So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to YouTube here. We just checked out the farmers market at Daily Plaza. There's an ambulance going by. This is Washington Street, or Washington Boulevard. And we'll cross State Street. We'll head right to the Bean. We're going to go to the Bean, Millennium Park. So please stick on. We'll show you. And then the Suenos is happening this week, and Shakira is going to be in town. There's going to be some big name acts. Not only is 2-day festival Suenos, which is a Latin music festival in Grant Park, just like Lollapalooza, multiple acts. We got AC/DC's going to play at Soldier Field on Saturday night. So traffic's going to be really bad. You know, over by the museum campus in Grant Park. And there's the Muddy Waters mural here. We'll cross State Street, that great street. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a good Thursday here. Here's State Street. And look, there's the Chicago Theater. We just went by there. That's looking north on State Street. You see all the way up to the One Chicago Tower. So we'll head straight over to Millennium Park, and then we'll check out Sueños. I mean, of course, they're setting up for it. They'll have it all blocked off. I just want to see if we can see the Ferris wheel. Ernie said he saw the Ferris wheel. And what's that noise there? I heard there's the Reliance building, one of the earliest steel frame skyscrapers there back to the 1890s. And this is the see, I'll show you this really quickly since we got so many people tuning in. We show this many times. It'll only take a second. When you walk into this is the May 15, 20 years, the world's largest unbroken Tiffany dome, over 6,000 square feet, 1.6 million pieces of glass. And when you go up to the floor there, you can actually view it from right next to it, and it's amazing. It's iridescent, multiple colors here. But this is bridges there in London, the old PBS movie series there. Selfridge, there used to be Carson Prairie Scott. Briefly, he owned that building, but he sold it, and then it became Carson Prairie Scott, which is now the Gothic Target. We'll check that out some other time. But we got other videos where we show the beautiful Louis Sullivan detailing there. Yeah, great to see it again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in here. But hey, thanks for checking us out here in Chicago. This is my lunchtime walk. I'm not going to go too far from where I work at the Loop, because I got to go back to work here around 1 o'clock. So we'll just head over to Millennium Park, and then we'll try to catch the edge of Sueños being set up there in Grant Park. Well, this is the elevated CTA train tracks over Wabash. Maybe we'll get lucky and see the train go by here. But we're on Washington Street here, and we're heading towards Michigan Avenue. Yeah, the boss. Here we go. Look at that. There goes the pink line. Going into the Washington and Wabash station there. So here, let's get across the street before the light changes. This is underneath the Wabash here. And that's looking north towards the Trump Tower on Wabash here. You see Wabash in Washington. This is the Pittsfield building. If you ever seen on TikTok, there's a guy who says, I bought a skyscraper, and he's showing all that's the Pittsfield building. We've gone inside there, and he's renovated. I'm glad that someone that cares about the historic nature of this building bought it and is going to restore it. They're going to I think they're going to turn some of that tower to residential. And like I said, more people are living in the Loop now than ever, because a lot of commercial space is being converted to residential. And there's the green line heading across there. Yeah, Jewelers Row, you got it. That's Wabash there, the historic Jewelers Row district. That's just what we passed by here, 50 East Washington, if you're looking at it for me on the map. Right next to the Cultural Center. This used to be the library, but they converted it to the Cultural Center even before the Herald Washington was built. And there's a nice mural there. Scooting along here. And yeah, let's try to get across Michigan Avenue here. The light just changed. We'll run across, literally run across. Remember when they had the cows on parade? The bulls on parade? Here's one of the last ones left. And if you look in the eyes there, you see the water tower in the eyes. I want to get across the street here, so we got 20 seconds. So we'll cross Michigan Avenue. Hey, we got a blues band. All right, blues guitarist, Michigan Avenue. Hey, they're waiting for these people, so I'm running. How you doing? We'll get across here. People are desperately trying to make a left turn here. The bus do. So hey, we made it. So there's the Wrigley building. There's 147 here. There's Michigan Avenue. And there's the Pittsfield building, so we'll keep going here. Hey, let's go. Yeah, souvenirs here. That's good. So we made it. There's the Bean. We'll head up there and check it out. Benny and the Jets, yeah. That's Elton John. Chris, how you doing there, Ernie? Michael, Julie Reed. Yeah. Alvin's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in here. Okay, so I know we've done it a million times, but we'll check out the Bean and then we'll go over to Sueno's.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, and South Africa. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Bro Naughty there. Let's see, Alvin, Julie Ward. Yeah, it's a lovely day. Critter Bones. You're only 2.5 hours away. That's good. I missed that comment there. Yeah, Sir Elton John. It's like Sir Paul McCartney. Sir Elton John. They knighted him. Knights of the Round Table there. See, the Queen Elizabeth, she realized the PR value of knighting all these musicians. I wish they would make Ozzy Osbourne a knight. Wouldn't that be nice? Sir Ozzy. You got to be a member of the British Empire, MBE, which I am not. Yeah, hola, Lambie T. Look, there's the Bean. There's the Great Bean of Chicago. Look how many people are gathered out here, even though it's only 50 degrees. Hopefully it's going to warm up to 60 by Memorial Day. That's as hot as it's going to get. We'll be like 60. But if the sun comes out, it'll be worth it. Here's the Bean of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. So I'm not even going to go around it like I normally do, because it's pretty crowded underneath there. I just want to see if we can make it over to Sueno's and back here. We got 12:30 on the dot. This is, of course, the Cloud Gate. Anish Kapoor is the artist there from London, but he won the competition there, and it's one of the, look how popular it is all times of the year, you know, except early in the morning and overnight when they close it down. But during the day and evenings, there's always people gathered here, even in the rain. You got 96 degrees in Mojave. Wow, Mojave Desert there. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And so let's head over to, they got the dog house, they got the lemonade stand. Let's go ahead, let's head over to Sueno's here. We'll go through the Lurie Gardens and we'll see what's shaking over here. Hey, tell everybody this is your song. Yeah, everybody's singing the Elton John there. Robert, how you doing? You're right here? You're right here. That's good. So, yeah, it sounds like they're doing some construction work. This is looking down, this is Madison Street, the Madison Street looking into the loop. We'll head over to the Lurie Gardens here. And they're still got the fencing around. Hopefully they'll have this open pretty soon, because I think they're going to have the, I don't know if they're going to have the Chicago House Music Festival again this year. They had it in June, beginning of June. And then usually after that they have the Blues Festival. So they're trying to get this thing. They got the speakers back. Remember, they had the tarps and they were working on it. So they're making progress. If this fencing comes down, it means that they're ready to open it up here. So we'll keep you up to date on the progress there. Gilbert, Arizona there. Yeah, Julie Ward. Got people tuning in from Southwest. That's great. Thanks for tuning in Chicago. We're much cooler than you are. I mean, it's weather-wise, not hip cool. We're hip to be square. Yeah. Hey, singing the lyrics there. I like that, Ernie. Thanks for. Yeah, people always quote good lyrics here. Songs, things we see trigger a song in our mind. You know, like lyrics. And here we'll head through the Lurie Gardens here, and this is on a parking. There's parking underneath this, so this is technically a green roof. And you can't even tell that there's parking underneath here, because even it undulates. There's field trips here, there's a lot of people. But hey, the flowers, look how much the flowers have changed, because the last time we were here, the tulips were still blooming. Tulips are over. Now we got this yellow mustard stuff. We got these blue heather type flowers. And so here, there's field trips and stuff. It's kind of backing up here, so we'll head through here. See, look, they got the art exhibit that you can do the augmented reality. And look how crowded it is here. It's a traffic jam going through the Lurie Gardens. It's great to see all these people here checking out the flowers. And here we'll head through here. Oh, we'll try to. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a traffic jam. Yeah, you see all the skyline. You can see the skyline behind the Lurie Gardens here. There's the Sears Tower. And there's the Art Institute of Chicago. I like the purple flowers here. So you see how this is really growing fast. So this will get taller and taller. It's like a tall grass naturalistic prairie type garden. Lurie Gardens here. I like those little puffs there. Yeah, the Aon building. That's the Aon building there. Prudential. They're painting a mural behind the Prudential. We'll try to show it to you before we head back to work here. But yeah, Lurie Gardens. Seasonal interest. Here's what we're seeing here. Aphrodite, Fringe Tree, Bowman's Root, peonies. Yeah. City in a Garden. You want to see the armless statue? Yeah, did it get torn down? I know they took the Columbus statue down. That's gone. I'm not for sure which statue you're talking about. Does anybody know anything about a headless, armless statue? sounds like the Department of Justice there at Washington D.C. Yeah, a little off. But here, see, this is this intersection, and it must be further south. Let's see. Am I wrong? Is Sueno's not this weekend? I thought it was this weekend. It must be further south here, so we'll head towards the Buckingham Fountain here. So let me look it up. I'll try to get across the street and then we'll look it up here. So hold on a second here. I'm always trying to type with my thumbs. There's Sueno's. %, sold out. May 24th and 25th. Shakira is the headliner. Don Omar, Archangel, El Alfa, Oscar Maydon, Tito Double P, Grupo Frontera, Peso Pluma. That's some of the big names there. Gonna play Suenos. Is anybody going to Suenos? But they're going to start the fireworks at Navy Pier this weekend. Thanks, Ernie, for the good information there. Oh, Edwin. Okay, Edwin was walking close to Buckingham Fountain. So Edwin was covering it. Edwin, yeah. So we'll go over towards the Buckingham Fountain, and yeah, Edwin streams downtown a lot too. Edwin's a local Chicago live streamer. That's great. Thanks for the good information. I probably missed it because I went to work and I was live streaming myself this morning. So, but here, I don't know if I guess they're not using this stage. See, like for Lollapalooza, they use this stage and they use some of the other stages. But I think Suenos is mainly Hutchinson Field and the area south of the Buckingham Fountain. I don't know if you're still able to access the Buckingham Fountain. We'll find out here. I'm going to head right over there. And see, this is called Butler Field. The Lake Michigan's over there. Maybe on the way back, we'll see that nice Chicago skyline. Michael Anderson knows the magic. Yeah. Good. Thanks for everybody there. So thanks for staying on there. Bro Naughty. Let's see what did he say there. Yeah, I wish you were here. 106 statues in Grant Park. Okay, good. So we'll try to find that. Thanks for the good information, Chicago Toxic Donut. I know, okay, down by, there's a sculpture with a bunch of people walking around without heads. It's a sculpture. We've filmed it before. It's near Roosevelt in Michigan. Is that what you're talking about? There's all those headless, armless people walking around. I think that's what you're talking about. I'm not going to get that far south. Now I know what you're talking about. It's a sculpture down there. It's down by the skate park. There's a skate park down towards Roosevelt, the South Loop. We're over by, they call this the Perillo band shell. Or is it Petrillo band shell. This is the Petrillo band. See, there's Perillo and there's Petrillo. This is the Petrillo band shell. And there's the skyline of part of the skyline of Chicago there, from the Sears or the Trump Tower all the way over to the St. Regis, with the Aon being the tallest there, the one that looks like the World Trade Center. But yeah, let's see if we can make it down to the Buckingham Fountain, because I want to see if they got, looks like you can still access, there's the Ferris wheel. There's the Ferris wheel. Good, that's what I wanted to see here. So we got 12:39. We'll try to get to the Buckingham Fountain as quickly as we can. How you doing? It's good. How you doing? It's good. And we'll head over to Sueños here. Yeah, I see the giant stage there. I see a giant stage. Hutchinson Field is really large, so it looks like they pushed it all to the south of Grant Park. So it's not as large as Lollapalooza, but it's still a big major festival that kicks off our summer season here on Memorial Day. I know it's not technically summer, but Memorial Day is the unofficial. The beaches will be open, there'll be lifeguards. And look at that beautiful view to the Chicago skyline here from Butler Field there. Look at that. Yeah, real comfy, that's good. So here we'll try to get across the street, the traffic, it never ends. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're going. So hey, at least you're gonna get to see, there's the Sears Tower, and there's the Metropolitan Building. The red building used to be the CNA, now it's the Northern Trust. And that's the Santa Fe building, that white one, just below the Sears Tower. But here, we'll head up through the gardens here. And we'll go, I'll at least get us to the Buckingham Fountain. There's the Ferris wheel. That'll look nice. So, I'm not 100% committed, but if I work from home tomorrow, I might be able to save up enough energy to come back downtown on Saturday night, because there's the AC/DC concerts happening Saturday night at Soldier Field. Sueños is happening Saturday and Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. And there's fireworks at Navy Pier. So sometimes it's hard to stream the fireworks at Navy Pier. I don't know if Ernie's going to cover it or not. I don't know if I'll be able to stream it or not. But if I'm downtown on Saturday night, we'll give it a try. And we'll see how crowded it is around here. And then probably the Riverwalk will be hopping, even if it's not that warm, just because people are itching to get on their boats and cruise up and down the river there. And yeah, thanks for tuning in from the burbs there, El. Yeah, Queen's Landing, you got it. They call this Queen's Landing. And we won't be able to get to the fountain because they got it blocked off. So I'll get you to, there, see they got these little fountain here. Yeah, they call it Queen's Landing because I think in 1959, I think Ernie gave me that good information there. The Queen Elizabeth II, the one that passed away, recently, before King Charles, she visited when she was much younger in 1959, and it was on the Queen Mary and docked right here in Chicago. Now, the Buckingham Fountain's not named after Buckingham Palace. It's named after a family, brother and sister that were the heirs of they had grain elevators. I guess we can still walk around here. Good. So let's walk around the Buckingham Fountain. They're still letting tourists. Thankfully, they're still letting us walk around the Buckingham Fountain, even though this weekend your access will be limited to the Buckingham Fountain because of this Sueños Festival. But here's the Buckingham Fountain, Grant Park, Chicago. Thanks for staying on, everybody. How you doing here? And we filmed it before. It would be better on a sunny day, but we got footage of it from when they turned it on earlier in May. You can watch the lakefront. Yeah, you can watch the fireworks for free from the lakefront. Usually Navy Pier you can watch them for free, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll be charging on Navy Pier or not. I don't think so, but it gets really hard to live stream it from Navy Pier. But they do it Saturdays and Wednesdays throughout the summer. And here's the Buckingham Fountain here. And they're setting up for Sueños. Look at all the portalettes. Look at all the portalettes have the doors off there. So you can look right into the toilets. Hopefully they're going to put the doors back on. But here's the Buckingham Fountain. Look how nice it looks. Remember, we came down here on TikTok a few weekends ago when they turned it on. And that was a good time. Yeah, hey, this is the Married with Children fountain. If you ever see Married with Children there, they use it at the beginning. There's Al Bundy and his wife Peg, and that long-running sitcom. They would play the Married with Children song from Love and Marriage from Frank Sinatra. Yeah, it changes color at night. They do a nice light show. It goes through a whole cycle where sometimes it'll shoot a jet way up in the air. Sometimes at night it'll change the lighting, and I think sometimes they play music too. I don't know if there's speakers here, but they try to do a whole and look how once you see how the Sears Tower emerges from behind that red Northern Trust building. And here's the Buckingham Fountain here, center of Grant Park, Chicago, Illinois. We got 50 degrees, 12:44. I got to get back to work here. So here's some of the stuff they're setting up for Sueños. We'll try to get you the image of the Ferris wheel here. Look at this beautiful view to the Chicago skyline. We'll just keep this in the background. See over here you get the Sears Tower and the Loop skyline. And then over here you get the Lakeshore East skyline there. Someone's calling me. Yeah, every hour there. Yeah, it cycles through every hour. There's the Buckingham Fountain there. Yeah, rest in peace, Norm. Let's dedicate this live stream to George Wendt. George Wendt, W-E-N-D-T, just passed away. Norm from Cheers, a proud Chicagoan. He was born in Beverly, went to Notre Dame, was part of the Chicago Superfans. Remember the Chicago Superfans? And they parodied it on SNL. There was a real show of the real Chicago Superfans, and then in SNL they did a parody of it, and that's how it became so famous. And Chris Farley was a part of that as well. And now they're both gone, you know, and isn't that amazing? There's the Buckingham Fountain. And there's the Ferris wheel. So there's the stage. There's the stage for Sueños, Hutchinson Field. You see the museum campus, and there's the Ferris wheel. So they got the Ferris wheel. You'll be able to see the Ferris wheel from the stage there. And here they got some of the drinks and some of the vendors. They're still using the crane, the forklift, to get stuff into place. This is an active work site here. Look at that. Nice view with the skyline. So here, we'll get you some last images of the Buckingham Fountain here. Yeah, Norm, may you rest in peace. Drink a beer for Norm. Drink a beer for Norm. I've been to has anybody else been to the Cheers bar in Boston? I've been to the Cheers bar in Boston. It's right near the Boston Common, just north of it. And I got like a mug that says Cheers. You can still go there. I think it's still there, right? You can go to Boston, the old Cheers bar. It looks different. You know, of course it was a movie set, but it was actually a Cheers bar there. And here's the skyline of Chicago. But yeah, we'll miss Norm, George Wendt. I think he was 76. Oh, you knew George Wendt's mother. She came into the beauty shop in 2007. Evergreen Park, yeah. He grew up in Beverly, so that makes sense. Evergreen Park's right near Beverly. So yeah, you met his mother. That's amazing. Used to have drinks at the bar, George Wendt. Yeah, didn't he used to hang out at the Old Town Ale House? There were some other bars he hung out with. I know they have a painting of him at the Old Town Ale House, but they got a lot of Saturday Night Live because the Second City's right there. But here's the Buckingham Fountain. There it is. And here we'll head through here, waiting for the light to change. So while we're waiting for the light to change, I'll show you the Buckingham Fountain here. I'll look at the comments here. You see how it took me about 15 minutes to walk here from the Bean. So here we got the light here. We're going to cross the street here. So the Bean, okay, so I'm going to walk back to the Bean. So what is it, 12:47? So we're crossing Columbus here. We're leaving the Buckingham Fountain. See if we can make it to the Bean by 1 o'clock. See if it takes 15 minutes. But see, they got the flags here. Look at all the flags. They put this up for the Sueños here. They got the flags here. And they did this last year. They had a bunch of flags here. And so here we'll head over this way. So we'll head back to the Bean. We'll head by the Art Institute. Hey, is this crepe myrtle? Look at these nice. Let's walk through the trees here. Let's walk through the trees. This will mess up my allergies, but okay, it's worth it. Yeah, look at these beautiful trees blooming here. We got May the 22nd, 2025. 12:48 in the PM. We got about 50 degrees. Yeah, there we go. We'll walk by the Lincoln statue here. Hey, Denise. Yeah, City in a Garden. Wendy's. Yeah, tell Dave Thomas I said hello. Yeah. Used to have drinks at the bar with George Wendt. Hung out with him west, what is that? Oh, it moved there. West Chicago. Yeah, pictures of him. Yeah, get a Whopper. BK. So here's the Lincoln statue here. We'll just zoom into it. There's the sitting Lincoln there. And here we'll head across this bridge here. We'll see if we see any Metro trains or South Shore trains going through there. The Van Buren station. So here, there's the flags for Sueños. There's some of the buildings from the South Loop. We'll head across here. Sounds like something's going on down there. Oh, they got the pile driver. There's the pile driver. So it might get loud. For some reason, they're driving piles here down in the trench where the Metro is. So put on your earplugs. We're gonna go by a construction site here. You don't like Wendy's? Yeah, so Dave Thomas is Wendy's. You said Burger King. I messed it up there. I did the same thing with Where's the Beef. Where's the Beef was Wendy's. I thought it was Arby's, but it was Wendy's. That was Dave Thomas. Look, see how they're sinking that thing down in the soil there. That's a pile driver. And they're doing construction on the Van Buren, Metro, and South Shore. You see they're pushing that piling down. It's going to shore up the edge of that track there. You see where we're at? This is the trough that goes under the Art Institute. This is the Van Buren station. It goes, the one just south of Millennium Station. Look at all the flags. That's all the flags for Sueños. Yeah, that's the main entrance. Most people will enter from, the loop there, and I guess that's the way they want people to come in. But hey, look, here's red footprints. I wonder what this is. That doesn't look good. Where do these red footprints go? They go all the way down over here. Hey, Valerie. Let's see who else is tuning in here. Yeah, State and Lake Station. It's been approved. Okay, good. Yeah, 1970s. Hey, Alex, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, Bloody Mary. Drink a Bloody Mary for me. Drink a beer for George Wendt. Yeah, there's a helicopter. I thought I heard a helicopter. There's a helicopter going right over the Roosevelt University. See, there's the Congress Hotel, which is haunted. There's the Roosevelt. That's the Fine Arts Building. They used to call that the Studebaker Theater. I didn't know that. Somebody asked me about the Studebaker Theater, and I think we blocked him or something. And I wish, I'll take responsibility for that because I didn't understand what he was talking about, and shows you how easily comments can get missed. Someone was asking about the Studebaker Theater, and we were like, and I think it was just because I was trying to get back to the office, and I was like, well, I don't have time to get to it. And they were like, I want to see the Studebaker Theater. And so we blocked them because we were just like, you can't just demand for me to do stuff. I know they were suggesting. We'll check it out. Now I understand. It's a very historic building. Studebaker had offices all throughout the country, and there was a theater in there, and I did not know that. There's so many things about Chicago I've learned through live streaming, and that's why we do this. We share the knowledge. There, see the Motorola building used to be Santa Fe. This is the Metropolitan building, and there's the red C&A. Behind it here is Michigan Avenue. Let's try to get across. We'll head right by the Lions. We're gonna go right by the Lions. We're trying to get back to the Bean. So we got 12:53. So this is how far the Bean is away from Buckingham Fountain, so you can gauge it if it's worth it for you to walk and see both if you visit Chicago. It is a hike. There's the Sears Tower, Motorola Santa Fe building. This is Jackson Boulevard. They use this for the NASCAR. And we'll go by the Art Institute of Chicago. It'll get loud. The guys beating on the buckets are over here. Here's this beautiful, they got it open here. So this is really beautiful in the sunshine. This is they got the fountain to the Great Lakes here. And they got these trees. Look at the beautiful flowers here. This is south. This is the plaza just south of the Art Institute of Chicago. And they got the fountain on, and we'll show you the, sometimes I lose my connection here. So we'll show you the fountain to the Great Lakes here. They got 5 female figures. This was the artist was Lorenzo Taft. He did a lot of sculptures there, and that's the fountain to the 5 Great Lakes. See, there's 5 of them. The women are for the 5 Great Lakes there in Chicago, or in the Great Lakes region here. So here we'll head up to Art Institute of Chicago here. I'm trying to get back to work here. The dude stepping on a Lego, yeah. That's the worst. That's the worst when you step on a Lego there. It hurts. Oh, the red footprints. Thanks, Chicago Toxic Donuts against gun violence. Well, that's a good cause there. How you doing? Hey. I'm just walking over here. I'm not even going inside. I'm on a public street here. I know it. See how the artists. I'm not even inside the Art Institute of Chicago. I have canceled my membership to the Art Institute of Chicago because of stuff like that. I'm in the public street and they're harassing me. How you doing? I'll go on free days. How you doing there? So here we'll head by the Lions here. See, I wasn't even inside the Art Institute of Chicago, and I told them, I said, I will not renew my membership if you don't explain to me why you keep harassing people filming. And they have a no filming policy, but they harass you even when you're on the outside of it. How arrogant for them to determine what's good art, what's not. Screw the Art Institute of Chicago. I used to be a member, and they alienated me. Thanks for tuning in. Look at this beautiful building. I'm gonna post that. I'll be like, look at this. I'm not even on the inside and they're telling me I can't film. What jerks. They're gonna tell me I can't film that. One day they're gonna show up and they're gonna say I can't film the fountain of the 5 Great Lakes. And I will never go to the Art Institute if they do that again. Why did they determine what's good art and what's not? They got the collection from Potter Palmer and Bertha Honore, and that made up the bulk of the Impressionists. But here we'll head across Monroe Street. See, you learn really quickly as a live streamer. There's corporate space and there's public space. And Art Institute of Chicago, they treat that like corporate space. They can kick you out, and it's not public. It's not a public museum. You know, here we'll head down Michigan Avenue. Here's the University Club. There's the Monroe Building. We'll head right into the. We'll head right there. The water. They're spitting out the water. There it is. There's the Crown Fountain. We caught just the tail end of it. They're spitting out the water there. There it is. Look at that Crown Fountain. How you doing? That's good. Here we'll head through here. Hey, it's going a long time. It's going a long time there. There's the end of it. So, hey, we caught the Crown Fountain there. We'll head back to the Bean. I know. He felt threatened by me. I will film him a second time. He's so threatened there. Maybe he was going to pull a pew-pew on me. He's going to tackle me and arrest me for just walking by the Art Institute. How dare I film art? Oh! Christopher, you see what we got to deal with? Hopefully you don't encounter it. You know, you know, the corporate police are the worst. You know, they're not even real police. They're like paid Pinkertons, and those are the ones that have like a big chip on their shoulder because they're protecting corporate property. They're protecting shareholders. You know, if we ever turn into a, like a gated community or, a tiered society where only billionaires have more rights than us, there'll be a bunch of rent-a-cops that'll protect them, and it won't be the police. It'll be paid Pinkertons, and they'll have their own jails. There, we'll stay down below. I'll show you the bean here. We'll walk by the bean. That's why I have a serious beef against the Artists of Chicago. It's because they're they're security unionized, and I'm okay. I'm for unions, but they're just militant. Like one time, I didn't realize their policy, and I was a member there, and I took pictures for years. I would take pictures and film, and no one said anything to me until I got a gimbal. And then I walked in there one time when I was live streaming on my original account, and I was still a member of the Art Institute, and I went right into the Impressionists. I went right into the Surratt, which is the lake, the big lake painting, the pointillism, and the securities almost tackled me. They were like, "You can't film that." I'm like, "I'm a member." They're like, "It doesn't matter. We have a no filming policy." And since I was live, Keys Impact is filmed in there. I filmed in there. Keys Impact filmed an African American exhibit. I would love to see them try to kick out Keys Impact from an African American exhibit. I would love to see him say, "What are you doing kicking me out?" Here's the Great Bean of Chicago. Jay's filmed inside there too. Jay's live streamed inside the Art Institute, but she's much more sneaky of how she holds her phone, and they didn't know she was streaming. She got away with it, which I commend her for. So here's the Great Bean of Chicago. So yeah, 1 o'clock. It took us less than 15 minutes to walk from Buckingham Fountain to the and Christopher, you want to hear something else? I've been asked to leave from filming the bean. I've been asked to leave from filming the bean by security several times. And that really irks me too, because technically this is a controlled space. They do have security on weekends, and they sometimes they want, if they think you're a commercial photographer, like someone that takes wedding pictures and stuff, you're supposed to get a permit to film the bean. You're supposed to get a permit and pay the city money. But you see so many tourists, as long as you just tell them you're a tourist. Tell them you're a tourist, you're here from out of town, they'll leave you alone. But, it's just, it's the way it is. But here, we'll head back to work. Here's the Great Bean of Chicago. There it is. And we'll head around here. But I'm going to head back to work. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry I got excited. It just cracked me up. That was the first time I was outside of a museum, and they asked me not to film. And I was like, dude, I'm just walking down the street. And I wonder if I was filming the Plaza, the fountain there. I wonder if they were going to tell me to stop filming that fountain, because they close off that plaza, and it's closed a lot because technically they own it, and it's not on a public street. It's owned by the Art Institute of Chicago, which is a privately endowed institution. And of course, they got to secure the priceless paintings. I know they got to have security. I know the security has a tough job. They don't care about me. And I don't expect them to. Here's the train going through here. Yeah. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to sign. Well, before I sign off, we're going to go. There's a mural. They just started a mural on the Prudential building. So we'll go up past the Giordano's and we'll show it to you. And there's a plaza over there. And again, that's a corporate plaza for Prudential. And I got to be careful around the Prudential security too, because I've been asked not to film in the Prudential building. And all these things you think are part of the pedway and are public, they can kick you out. They can close it off, and it's not as public as you think, because they heat it and they pay for the electricity. The actual buildings do. I don't think the city pays for it. Yeah, they're so controlling. I see your comment there, Ernie. Yeah, I know, Ernie. You work as security at the zoo, right, and other places. Yeah, see, it shows you. They're very controlling. And there's priceless works of art. But it goes back, who determines why is some art worth so much and why is some other art not worth anything at all? It's an art market determined by rich, wealthy people as a store of value, and it's very elitist. That's why Basquiat, it was so hard for him to break into the New York art market, because it was an elitist institution. If he wouldn't have befriended some art critics and Andy Warhol, they would have excluded Basquiat from the New York art market in the 1980s. Watch the movies and the documentaries, and he struggled to get recognized. And it's a very elitist group run by wealthy people. Same people that are trying to sell you Bitcoin, like the Winklevoss twins. But here, I want to show you this mural here. We'll head up by Estaloca here. We'll go by Giordano's. Thanks for staying on, everybody. I just want to show you this mural here, and then I'm going to head back to work. Hey, we covered a lot of ground today. I know I missed a lot of comments because I was rushing around here and yelling at security. Hey, there's a diaper. Somebody lost a diaper. Here's Estaloca. Estaloca. This new restaurant that opened up here. Here's Giordano's. And see, you can go down into bowling courts underneath here. There's a street underneath here. You can take that escalator. Hey, there I am. You can go down to the metro station. Here's Giordano's Chicago style pizza. They got a takeout counter on the side here. Yeah, the banana to duct tape. That is the stupidest piece of art I've ever seen. I mean, it should just be ridiculed. You know, it's not even the banana. It's just, it's somebody sold the art as an idea. It's like it comes with instructions of how you're supposed to put the duct tape in the banana, and it's so stupid. Shows you people have too much money to spend on crap like that. Think about how much money spent on that artwork could be spent to help people out, but you know, how arrogant to spend it on a banana. Here, I want to show you this mural. See, look at that mural there. So this is the annex of the Prudential. This is the older Prudential. And we'll head out here. We'll show you this. We started the live stream with this. Yeah, Frida. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Balmar over there. Yeah, it's only 50 degrees. Look at this mural. So we'll keep you up to date on the progress of this mural. This is on the original Prudential building. So nice. See, I'd rather there be a mural than a blank wall there. I've been staring at that blank wall for years. Let's zoom in here. So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll walk home tonight on TikTok. Here's this mural. Well, we might show it on TikTok tonight too. I'll probably start the live here. But hey, we'll keep you up to date on the progress of this mural once it takes shape here. This is at Lake Street, Michigan. See, there's the Carbide and Carbon. This is where Nando's and Nutella is. And this is the Giordano's. This is the original Prudential building. And there's the annex there. And we'll show it with the fountain on later. But hey, have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight on TikTok. Thanks to my mods and everybody. If I missed your comment there, sorry, I was running around too fast here. But we covered a lot of ground. And we'll see you later tonight there. Thanks, Ernie. Thanks, Kevin, L, Michael, all the Michaels, Krista. Thanks, everybody. Travell. Yeah. I know. That's why I was yelling at him. I was like, you can't tell me not to film. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Have a good day.